Capricorn, sorry about that. I'm back to do the second part of your read here. That was somebody that I had to go and answer the door to. Recently we had a major storm here and I had a waterfall in my kitchen, and they've come round to kind of fix the problem. I had water backing up in my sink. It was very smelly and disgusting, so they needed to clean the drains, etc. So anyway, I'm now back. And the last thing that we were talking about here, I believe, was this kind of, actually while I was away, this kind of came into my head quite strongly again, this energy of this kind of wilder is kind of what I was getting, was this is your wilder nature, your wilder side here, Capricorn, kind of being released. So it is this kind of sense of something more. Again, I get this kind of feeling of this kind of more childlike, angelic-like side of your nature. And this is kind of the wilder side here. Possibly kind of experiencing everything. That's kind of what I'm picking up. And the last card that fell out just before I had to leave your first part of the reading, the Three of Swords, fell out and it came out over the top of this Emperor. So I'm going to read it over the top of this Emperor because I feel as though what it's saying here is that there is going to be a situation. Three of Swords is heartache. It's yeah, heartache, a feeling of being, or really of having your heart broken. You see here, one of these swords is kind of pointed right at her throat. And there's three people in this card as well, which can imply a third party situation. It doesn't necessarily have to be. But there's all these daisies down the bottom here as well, which kind of gives me a symbolic idea of innocence somehow, because I find daisies, like, you know, they come up in the early spring. There's something quite innocent about them. Maybe that's also what this energy here is saying as well, this innocence. Trusting. Maybe that's also this energy here. So I feel as though over the top of this Emperor, but this is your energy here. You are either going to be the person that is causing this heartbreak, and I feel it's in the sense of finishing something, ending something. Like after having made a decision here, because the 3 always comes after the 2, so it's like you've made a decision, something has come to a head here, and you have decided to cut something off, cut something out. And you've also got this 8 of Cups here as well, so you are walking away from a situation that may have caused you a lot of pain, that you were kind of innocently, or somebody here was innocently unaware and oblivious of something I was kind of hiding possibly in the background here as well. But I do feel that this Emperor energy is still this sense of having to like cut something out here. Like I was saying, it's kind of, if you see, he's got a sword here as well. So it is like the battlefield. And again, I get this energy of my way or the highway, or just kind of like having to behave like this energy, having to behave in this fashion that maybe even goes against how you would normally want to be. But it's like something kind of stirs up all this sense of, possibly again, this sense of injustice here. Unfair, not just unfairness, but something not being honest. Maybe there was also some dishonesty here in this energy. I just kind of get this feeling of you having to roar or become really quite firm and quite kind of like very strong in your decision and in the way that you deal with this energy here. Even though it's interesting because he's got a very similar crown on his head as well. If you look here, his crown is kind of very flowery and very kind of daisy-like. And those daisies down the bottom there are kind of reminding me of this as well, that kind of that you would rather be able to be fair and honest and just about this, but there's this part of you that's kind of feeling as though you can't be. But you have to take a firm stand on this, and it has to come from a place of letting this person know, or letting the situation know, letting, whether it's a family situation, whether it's a home situation, or a work situation, friends, or a personal relationship, that you're not going to take any more of this. You're not going to take it lying down is kind of what I'm feeling. So let's see what we have here over the top of the Nine of Water. I want to see what this Nine of Water energy is about here. Why is the Nine of Water here? A Daughter of Cups. So this is Page energy. Again, this is innocence. This is trusting. This is you going with the flow, I feel, in this card here. Going with the flow, kind of letting things be. Cups energy. Daughter of Cups is the Page of Cups energy. So again, it's a young energy. But it can also be an energy where you're feeling the need to, again with this kind of Four of Air here, take the time away from a situation. But I feel it's more to do with the early realization of the fact that this isn't your dream, that this isn't your wish fulfillment. And you are beginning to awaken, I feel, to that energy. Awakening to that understanding that this wasn't really the love or the support or the right place for you to be. And that you needed to take yourself out of that environment. There's a lot of red in this card and a lot of green. There's a lot of kind of contrasting of colours here as well. The red and the green are very kind of contrasting in the sense of, I'm kind of feeling like, you know, very opposite energies here. And possibly the red can relate to anger as well. It can relate to the root chakra energy. But I also get the sense of you kind of feeling as though you'd put a lot into this. You'd put a lot of yourself into this. And so you may also feel this sense of anger and kind of anguish, and because if you look at the Nine of Cups there as well, she doesn't look particularly happy. There's kind of a melancholy look on her face there. And so you could have felt, you know, you offered everything that you could. You put your cup into this, you put your heart into this situation. But it didn't give you back what you wanted from it, or what you maybe even felt you deserved from it as well. So I'm going to quickly put another card over the top of this one. Okay. And we have the Priestess of Wands. So this is the Priestess of, or the, sorry, the Queen of Fire. And it's in reverse. So I think that's kind of confirmation of you kind of feeling like you lost your identity somehow here. Wands is creativity, it's dynamic doing energy, it's passion, it's drive, it's very magnetic energy. But when it's in reverse, it's kind of saying that you feel as though you don't have that drive, you don't have that passion. It's also, because it's female energy, it's also very receptive energy. So you may have also closed off, or felt as though that side of yourself had been closed off, that you weren't receptive, you weren't able to receive, or there was nothing to receive with this energy here. That the love, or whatever it was that you were like, felt you needed to sustain you in something. It doesn't have to be love, it could just be support or confirmation about something, or but it wasn't there. Is what I'm feeling. Because when the Queen's in reverse, she has kind of closed herself off to being receptive, to being able to hold that energy and channel that energy, because that's what the Queens are. The Queens are receptive. It's the feminine side, it's the receiving energy, which with the masculine energy then goes out into action. And you have the Temperance card here over the top of the Page of Earth. No, actually I'm going to put it over the top. I've been told to put it over the top of these energies here. Okay, so there was this imbalance. There was this imbalance here. There was something that wasn't flowing. There was something that was blocked. Like I was saying, there's something that wasn't being allowed to become, to create, to flow. Because the Temperance card to me is all about flow. It's all about keeping the flow of something going. If you don't have the flow of something, then something stagnates. It blocks, like it just did in my drain during this storm. So it's that kind of stagnant energy. It's like everything stagnates around it. There's no flow, there's no oxygen, there's no growth, there's no... And especially when the Temperance card is upside down as well. And of course, when it comes to relationships, in order to be able to maintain a relationship, we have to be able to talk, communicate. And that's not just about the talking, it's also about the listening as well. So that is also very important in a relationship. So if both people are doing all the kind of communicating and the talking, and the other person isn't open to hearing, then that is a blockage in itself. And that stops the flow of energy from being able to keep going and keep moving and to grow and to change and to evolve. So that's what I feel that Temperance card is saying there, that in that situation, with the Nine of Cups, because that's what it's come out over. It's come out over the top of the Nine of Water. Within that situation, you realised that there was this kind of one-sided, it was a very one-sided energy here, and that it wasn't your side of it. In that sense, it wasn't your dream, that you'd been putting a lot of yourself into and maybe not getting much back from it. And we have the Ten of Wands over the top of the Page of Earth here. Which is an interesting energy in this card. The Ten of Wands looks very much like a celebratory energy here. Like a freedom. Like, again, this kind of freeing up of something. Which I feel is what this Page of Earth here is. This freeing up of yourself. This kind of awareness. But there can be, again, there's kind of this overindulgence in this energy. There's kind of a lot of like things can go too far. They can get out of hand very quickly, very easily. There's a lot of sexual energy involved in this, a lot of red, a lot of creativity in general, because it's the 10. It's an ending, it is a completion here. And I'm kind of getting this energy of burning things down, in the sense of kind of like just letting it all go, just literally releasing everything, just releasing everything, just not holding back on anything here, just releasing everything, all that had been kind of trapped in this kind of tower energy, just kind of got completely released here as well, from this energy here, from this kind of realization. Of how you had been kind of holding yourself back here. You went into this kind of full-blown, or this is where you're at this time, because this is your present energy and this is the very heart. And again, because you had the sun energy here as well, there does feel like this real kind of celebratory, like you're in this real celebratory frame of mind at this time. Again, I'm getting this kind of feeling of release here as well, because you've got this butterfly at the very heart of this sun. But there is again this kind of warning of it, that it can be too much, it can be too intense, it can be too hot. Don't be careful because it can burn. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Even though you want to, I do feel like, you know, with this, because this is what came up for me earlier, was like, you know, this is your wilder nature. You want to kind of set the world alight. Now that you've got to that freedom. And this may have been a divorce for some of you. This may have been a marriage that kind of hit the rocks, possibly with that tower energy here as well. But at the same time of doing that, it kind of brought out this amazing kind of sense of that this wasn't your story in many ways. This wasn't your story. This wasn't your life. This wasn't your... It was like you were living it for somebody else. And we have the 8 of Wands over the top of this World card here as well. So again, more fire, more passion, more kind of... The world was upside down, I do believe. There may be communication coming in. But again, I get this feeling this is more about you setting things alight, setting your world ablaze. Capricorn. Like I just feel as though you're done with it. It's just, I'm just done with it. I'm just out of here. It's kind of like, you know, and I'm going to just burn all my bridges as I go. And this could also be you telling some home truths to somebody here as well. This energy that's moving in with this Emperor, you could be kind of quite blunt, maybe quite vicious with this Emperor energy. Blunt, honest, quite hurtful. Just kind of really saying it as you feel it is what I'm getting here. Saying it as you feel it. And we have the 3 of Wands over the top of this Temptation card here. So more fire. More fire. And this is you, I feel, stepping out. Again, it's this wilder side of your nature, this wilder kind of like devil may care type of energy is kind of what I'm picking up. This devil may care energy of like, you know, I'm just going to see where I go. I'm just going to see what happens. I haven't got a plan. It's not... it's not, nothing is set in stone here. It's just this creative pursuit, something that you are pursuing that has kind of woken you up, that has kind of got you fired up, is what I'm feeling. This general energy of being fired up and really kind of wanting to shift the energies, shift your life, change your world, take things to a new level. And the Ace of Wands comes out over the top of this Eight of Water. It is in reverse, but it's over the top of this Eight of Cups here, which came out with the Devil energy, which was the card when I was saying that I feel as though you're kind of cutting your losses or cutting your bridges here, burning your bridges, cutting your losses, moving on. Devil may care energy. Yeah, leaving something behind, moving forward, not looking back is what I'm picking up here. You're not looking back. And with this Ace of Wands, even though it is in reverse, there's still this real like birthing here, this birthing of something new, this creativity to do with yourself. So much fire, just so much fire. Okay, so with the Ace of Wands being in reverse, it's kind of saying that it's there, the potential, it's there, it's in the future that is yet to come, but don't kind of push it too soon. Don't try and force your way into that future before it's ready. Or you could make it more difficult for yourself. This is a real explosive energy. This is a real burst of kind of new creativity, a real driving passion that's going to, like I say, I feel as though it's taking you to another level. Is that you are ready. You are ready, but you have to also I just kind of get the feeling of don't try and force the energy. Don't try and push it. Don't try and make something, which I think is going to be difficult for you here as well, because you've got this kind of real fire, real drive, real kind of now, it's got to be now kind of energy going on here with everything, with all of this. All of this. If you look at all of this together, it's just this fire, just all of it is fire, creativity, drive, passion, sexuality. So I think it's going to be difficult for you to hold back on things, and maybe also with this something you're going to learn something here as well with this Eight of Wands coming in. All of these arrows that are being shot here are on fire. They're all ablaze. And they're all being aimed at your world as well, interestingly. And yeah, also with this Emperor energy in reverse as well here, I feel that something is really going to kick in for you and really kind of it's almost animalistic. It's almost like, you know, you can't not allow that drive or that passion or that force of nature, which is basically what it is. It's like this force of nature to take over your life. Because you really do want to move forward here, Capricorn. So I'm going to pull you a Ask and It Is Given card and see what we receive. I'm going to turn that one over because that was already the other way, so before I get confused. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and Cusp Capricorn. Oh, before I forget, Capricorn, Cusp means that you will be at the very beginning of Capricorn, as in 0 degrees, moving out of the Sagittarius energy. So you may want to check out the Sagittarius reading as well, if that is your energy, if you are a 0 cusper. And the other end of your sign will be moving into the Aquarius, so you're going to be at the 29 degree mark, moving more forward into the Aquarian energy. So you may also want to check that out as and when I put that up for you, or for Aquarius. Okay, so my uncontrolled thoughts are not to be feared, is what it says. And this card is saying there is no reason to worry about your thoughts, for they are not like a loaded gun that may wreak powerful and instantaneous destruction. For you have plenty of time as soon as you become aware of any negative feelings, which could be these fiery arrows here, to begin to choose other, less resistant thoughts and thereby choose a more desired outcome. So it's kind of saying, I feel, in many ways, is that you are going to have this driving passion and driving desire to make something more of your life and for it to be more fulfilling. But you may have to kind of be aware of these thoughts as they're coming in, because some of them could be destructive for your future as well. But just because you think of them doesn't mean that they're instantaneously going to happen. It's the amount of energy that you put into them and how much you kind of follow that energy into it becoming a reality. I think Capricorn is what the message for you here is, which is quite interesting because there is a lot of, like I was saying, a lot of this fire driving energy, which could be aimed in a kind of negative way, could be aimed in the sense that you really want to just kind of break free, break out, break away from. But you may just have to kind of watch your thoughts and your thought processes about how you're doing it, whether that's going to be done in a less destructive manner and a more kind of positive fashion. So Capricorn, I'm going to leave this second part of your reading here and say that I really do hope you have enjoyed it. I again apologise for having to split it into 2 parts. Unfortunately, I don't have a pause button because I'm just using my phone to film this on, and there is no pause button on it, so I had to turn it off and go and deal with the problem and come back and do this second part of your read. But if you have liked my reading, could you please like it up for me, thumbs it, because that's how it gets out into the bigger world of YouTube and more people get to see it. The algorithms can pick it up and then they can bring it people back to my channel, hopefully, in which case they can have a look at my channel and decide whether or not they would like to subscribe to my channel as well. Thank you very much to those of you who have subscribed recently. I really, really do appreciate you being here with me. I'm slowly building up my numbers. and I'm now ahead of where I was before I lost the last few people. Again, I don't know if that was a YouTube thing or whether people just decided that my readings weren't for them, which is completely acceptable and understandable because not everything is going to fit everybody. So if you have enjoyed it and you haven't subscribed already, please could you do so, become part of my channel, that would be wonderful. And also tap that bell to receive the future videos that I will be putting out there for you. For yourselves, Capricorn, I will do a love reading later as well to see what's happening in your love life. And I do all the zodiac signs. I do the full moons, the new moons. I do the major astrological changes as well. And everything is in playlists. If you're interested, you can go and have a look at the playlists and see what videos are already there. I recently put one up on this 8/8 Lionsgate energy. I did a tarot reading about that as well. So you may want to go and check that out for yourselves too. In the meantime though, Capricorn, I'm going to say thank you very much again. Please take very, very good care of yourselves. And before I forget, share this with anybody else who you feel may benefit from it as well, and comment if you feel like leaving a comment. I do love to get comments and feedback. It's really nice to know how my readings are helping people, and also it just gives me kind of a connection with what's actually going on out there with you who sit there and watch my readings. So it's a really nice way for me to connect with you. And lastly, please take good care of anybody else around you who you can at this time, and hopefully I will see you again soon, Capricorn.